Go! Alright. Welcome back to Prodigy. This is the fourth video back-to-back recording, and I really wanted to get through this. I thought that it looks really different when... Okay. Anyways, the point is I'm at a different scene right now, but we're continuing off of yesterday's episode and probably the past 3 episodes. I've been really hard trying to get through all the, heavy security, financial, business stuff, identity stuff that is protected from protected using Kaspersky, Bitdefender. It was just a week where I had all this financial stuff that I had to take care of, and account related stuff and biz related stuff that's just very important that you make sure you keep under wraps. And so what we're going to do here is cover something in the previous video. But by the way, how are you guys doing? A little segue. Leave in the post below what was the main highlight the past 24 hours, what was the main frustration, if you want to vent a little bit, what went down, and in this particular video relevant to this, we're going to be talking and discussing, you'll see, is a personal account that I created for probably like years now, probably like full on decade, for my biological mother. And at the time, you help them with stuff, a lot of stuff that they don't know how to do, specifically technology. And then recently, about 2 years ago, becoming unemployed, and she went through a really rough patch. I went ahead and, stupid me, codependent at the time, decided to help her out. Let's switch over to the backdrop scene. And I'm not helping anymore, but the long story short is I plan, of course, to just let things be and wish her all the very best to her future, to her job, to her relationship with a very volatile marriage for 30 years and stuff like that. Not going to go into it, privacy, confidentiality, no names mentioned, nothing like that, but all the best to her, because I'm totally done with all the fucking bullshit. So over here, we're going to get rid of these tabs, and it's probably going to be the last time I'm ever going to see this account ever again. Okay. So here it is, and of course this is related to security because I still have to do my due diligence. My laptop again was compromised many months ago, maybe half a year ago, and I bought a package to make sure that I not only protected my accounts but also other people's accounts that were logged into, and that included my biological mother's account. So that's where it's coming from. So here's the email. Again, heavy stuff. Again, I guess if there's anything having to do with relationships and stuff like that, you could post that in the comments as well. Again, privacy, confidentiality, don't post anything that you're not comfortable with. Let's go. So we have Indeed, Job Tone, Jobilico. Again, this is all stuff. I'm not going to go through any of this. This is her stuff. But most of it is spam. That's why it's okay to cover this stuff. I can tell 100%. All of this stuff here is pretty much just spam that she'll never open because she was applying for jobs at the time. And she doesn't know how to unsubscribe from stuff. I'm not going to do that for her. That's kind of her responsibility now that I've taught her everything that she needs to know. Honestly, let's close this and move on. Next one, you can tell I'm just hopping. So at the same time, I had my account here for, I mentioned 2 episodes ago, I had to do a lot with if this and that, if going through this ridiculous change here, which is actually very reasonable. It's ridiculous on a personal level, right? I felt, I got more shit to do again. And that was really painstaking, but I'm actually logged into obviously more than one account. This is one of those annoying things about Google on Gmail and just Google in general. You can't just log out of one account. You have to log out of all of them. It's super annoying. It's really fucking annoying, man. And so that's something else here. And I'm going to get rid of this as well because we're done with that. Now, here's the kind of a difficult part here. I have to make sure, it's very important that I make sure that the stuff here is covered by the privacy banner. Again, I have an OBS Studio, a little graphic here that covers any personal information. And I'm just double checking and making sure that the tabs are in fact covered by this because I don't want to reveal. Again, don't be spiteful, don't be a little bitch, don't be petty. I hate petty people. So I have to make sure that I'm not petty myself, of course, because I'm holding myself to the same fucking principles and the same standards. So I'm not gonna go here and go showing, oh, my abusive biological mother's personal information. Here, everyone see it. No, that's not what's gonna be about, right? The fact is, we're gonna log out and respect the privacy, and we're gonna continue to do things the right way. So here's the account again for the last time. It's a little bit sad, right? I mean, a little bit, no, it's not sad. God, I'm fucking free. That's how I feel. But I remember when I used to cry over this shit. This used to bother me a lot when I was codependent. I couldn't sleep. It would be for months, days. I had intrusive thoughts. I was fawning. I was like all emotional and, God, fucking brainwashed I was. Ridiculous, pathetic. So right here we have desktop, career resources, miscellaneous, holistic resources, wedding. We have phone pictures. Oh man, this really goes back. Yeah, and all this stuff I'm not gonna open. This is a lot of this stuff is actually my stuff here. I'll be totally honest here. This is some stuff that is shared, but it's all synced, so it's fine. I think most of the stuff here I don't even need. This was a time when I had stuff over there, and I would use the printer. You can see back then, relations, I kind of just tolerated it, and I shouldn't have. But I don't believe I have anything here that's super important that I want to keep. There is some stuff here that they have that I think is interesting. It's about like the dance photos that they had, or the trips they had over to like Hawaii or Cuba or whatever. Again, stuff like that. But it's just general sentimental stuff or stuff that isn't of any use. And I'm gonna close it now, so bye. Now we also have, not just on Google, like Gmail, but there's also Google Drive, right? Google Drive. And I was teaching her how to use Google Drive to create Google Sheets, spreadsheets, to write down the, let's say, you're applying for a job, right? The HR manager's email, contact information, all that kind of stuff, the company name. And so we create a bunch of spreadsheets, and you can tell I'm a little bit enthusiastic to get over with this stuff here, right? I wasn't speaking this loud. Part of it, however, I will say, it's not just because of the content. It's kind of heavy content, and maybe I'm overcompensating, but the majority of this is because I'm just fucking frustrated with IFT. Jeez, $140. I'm so pissed off at that, honestly. I don't want to have to consider that, so that's why I'm so energetic right now. I apologize if I'm a little bit over the top. I really want to be out of the house by now. It's 2 hours. It's fucking annoying. Let's get through with this, all right? We got 3 spreadsheets and 2 documents. It's crazy. That single platform there is driving me more crazy now than what used to be a very horribly abusive relationship. Like, that's how much I've developed now. I feel great. I feel great saying that even if has more impact over me than this bullshit that I used to pay attention to. Anyways, it's not bullshit though, right? She got a job. We worked on it and she got a job, and I'm very happy for her. So here is a spreadsheet for her. It says husband's contacts, but so that's my biological father. Honestly, it was just a spare spreadsheet we created because we wanted to see whether or not, we were just testing, right? She didn't know how to create a spreadsheet. So I said, here, you click on this button here, creates a new spreadsheet. Let's say you're interested in writing down, whatever, that's in Cantonese. Basically, I just said husband's phone number. And then, maybe you have, appointments. We had a spreadsheet for all the appointments for the doctors, the specialists, the gastroenterologist, the whatever, that she had to see, to emergency. We had the spreadsheet up. We put the emails, the dates, the appointments, and say, this is how you do this and that. And even there was a time where she was, where I was helping her and she got in to a dentist job. And that's a huge milestone. I was really proud of her because, like, she's a factory worker, guys. She makes like chocolate for 25 years. Like, imagine the leap she had to take to get to that point, right? So we worked really hard on that, and I was teaching her how to use, believe it or not, how to use Excel functions. Not Excel functions, but Google Sheet functions and stuff like that. I gotta tone it down a bit. I can feel a little bit of that codependency seeping in. I'm getting a little bit too much. I'm sorry, it's personal, but it's personal. It's a personal video. So I was teaching her how to copy functions, like how to use the sum all function, At the time, she was getting a lot of complaints from her colleagues in the dentist clinic, nagging her about how she's slow, how she can't use a spreadsheet and whatnot. And so, we went through all that kind of stuff. And so it's a blank spreadsheet. Again, you can't see anything, obviously. There's very good reasons for this. It's all private information. Just listen to me talk. All right. That's pretty much it. One spreadsheet down. Next one. I can't wait to get the fuck out of here. It's fucking 9 a.m. in the morning. I came home way too late yesterday because something happened at the library. There's like a violent incident at the library. Let's just say that. All right. Now we have not involving me, but it got me unsettled anyways. Anyways, we have this next spreadsheet here. This one seems to be having to do with business products. I don't know why. I don't know why this is over here. It seems like it's named after one of my files, but it doesn't have any information here, I don't believe. Okay, never mind. I was wrong. It does have information. So it does have information, and the reason why it does is because it seems like to me, and if I could take a look again. Okay, got it. So this is for her account. At the time I was helping her with her business. No, I was applying my business. I only joined the business. Fucking codependent me in the past, man. I hate who I was. Hate myself so much for what I was. Because, man, I joined this company, Uzana Health Sciences. The real impetus was because I joined this fucking company to help her with her tendonitis and, her losing 30 pounds. I was trying to be the doting son and all this shit. Stupid fucking idiot. Anyways, only to have her stab me in the back. Fuck all that shit, man. Anyways, I have her stuff here, basically her user ID and stuff like that in here. I basically logged in and would forget the user ID, so I basically had something here. Okay, here's the information to log in and stuff like that. Long story short, I don't need this either anymore, and she doesn't use it anymore either. So we're gonna close this and get rid of that. 3 more spreadsheets to go. Again, heavy personal stuff here. It's not mixing well. Right? It's not mixing well. If this and that, and then this kind of heavy stuff here. But you gotta get through it. Like I said, this is stuff I should have done like 3 days ago. If it were 3 days ago, I would be calm. I wouldn't have this if this and that, but it's not mixing well, and I'm not gonna wait. Time, that's just time crunch. So we got 3 spreadsheets here. 3 documents here. These are Google documents. The last 3 documents related to her. I'm so happy to get that fucking account off my laptop. But we have here basically seems like a message she wrote up. And again, really proud of her, because I'm not going to showcase this obviously because it's something, I have the privacy graphic here, but she wrote an entire letter on her own. I can tell. I didn't help her with this. She wrote this on her own. It was a letter to, it seems like an insurance company. I won't say what insurance company, I won't say the date or whatever. All you need to know is that this is something she drafted by herself. She wrote an entire letter by herself. Seems like I'm just going to look through it, make sure that, yeah, there's some spelling mistakes, it's still like, I'm still like, oh, okay, it's all right. But it's a good effort, and I'm really happy that, like, she's basically self-sufficient enough to be able to manage these things on her own, because I'm not going to be there for her anymore. Facts, 100%. And then over here, this is another spreadsheet, not a spreadsheet, but a Google document here on the side here. It says, oh, this is me this one we kind of worked on together, but basically there's some random words here. I was telling her about how, kids, I was speaking to her because, like, we're all kids to her. Right. So at the time, I remember in elementary school, they would teach us how to type. So I had to actually teach her how to type as well, because she didn't know how to type. She was using the, the one finger thing. I don't know if she still does that, honestly. Maybe she still uses, one finger tip, tap, tap across the keyboard. But I said, at school, right, this is how you're supposed to type. And so it would be best for you, since you're having troubles, you're having a lot of arguments, not arguments, but she was being heckled from her colleagues at the dentist appointment. At the dental clinic that she was working for a couple months, because she would type really slowly, right? And it's not really her fault at all. She just doesn't grow up with this kind of stuff. So I taught her to put her left hand, her right hand over the keyboard, ASDF, right, guys? Welcome back to like grade 2 elementary computer class. ASDF, JKL, semicolon, right? And I said, this is your left hand, this is your right hand, and you reach for different keys like this. And eventually, with enough practice, you don't have to look at the keyboard and, all this stuff. Basically, I was teaching her everything that, in elementary school, you learn about how to type. I was teaching her how to type. And that's why we had the school spreadsheet. So you can see here, you can't see here, sorry. But sad dad asked, I am sad, I like cars, I like cigarettes. Well, maybe the last line was kind of stupid, but so then we moved on to something more applicable. I said, type this instead. This patient is applying for blah-de-da, Manulife insurance at so-and-so dentist appointment, dental clinic, and is charged $66.70. Jane Doe standard. Yeah, so that's that. Okay, and the last document here, we're 15 minutes in, and this one is the last document on her account that I want to cover. And it's not even I want to cover. What happened is, I'll be totally, guys, the reason why I have to cover this is I went through this sentimental phase, right? I went into her account to reset the Usana password. That's in the previous episode. I think at the very beginning episode, actually. And I went in and I tried to reset it, okay? And then I noticed, oh, I have to go to her email account. I said, I haven't looked at this in a while, right? And we used to work on together, and I created the account too. So there's a lot of attachment there. At the time, I was quite attached, and I shouldn't be, and I'm glad to not be anymore. So all the guilt tripping, all the brainwashing, like these 6-hour lectures that my biological father would give me, where he would always talk smack about my cousins, about my mother, about random people, about my brother, about everything. It's just fucking shit. Can't believe I even bothered putting up with that crap. Oh, I'm so bitter right now. I'm sorry, guys. It's a bitter video. And if this and that, bitter. But this is the last thing here, and it's actually a wedding note. I'm going to read this because I have removed all names. So, long story short, the reason why we covered this is because as I was resetting the password and taking out the product from my biological mother's account for the last time, I dropped by the email, right? Because I had to. And I said, this is probably the last time I'm ever going to enter this account. And I created this account for her. I taught her how to type, taught her to get a job, tried to get her to change her ways and stuff like that. Didn't really work out. Some things worked out. And for those things that did, I'm honestly happy and proud and look forward to her doing things with whatever she can, but she's independent now. And I'm completely separating any ties, going completely no contact with both of them. And, trying to make this as least personal as I can, but basically, if I'm going to go no contact, I'm going to log out of everything. So I said, one last time, we're going to hop on and take a look at the things. This is going to be the last time I'm going to see these documents again that we worked on together. And the little bitch that I was back then, I would be pussy ass crying right now, but I'm not crying anymore. It does hurt, but it's what it is. So here it is. This is the last document that I had open that I was sifting through. My codependent fawning piece of shit self. All right. It was a letter written to, not a letter, a comment post for a wedding invitation that was declined. We couldn't go. None of us can go. When I say us, there's no us, but basically I'm talking about my direct blood. So I'm talking about my biological guardians. I'm talking about myself. Talking about my cousin. I mean, my brother as well. None of us can afford to, right? It's just the whole poverty, financial ruin kind of stuff. So I'm going to read this out here. Again, there's nothing private here. It's just a general, I wish you all the very best to you and your significant other. Congratulations, that kind of stuff. And no names mentioned. So I am too. Best wishes to you together for a very fulfilling marriage. Would love to come to meet you, L. now healthy, and thank you S for completing the family. Just no funds, unable to afford to come over. May you both have an amazing wedding and honeymoon. Blessings to, and then there's something longer down here because there was an entry slot, a field where you're allowed to write down your parting thoughts or whatever. So blessings to you both. Fantastic news to the two of you. It's very alleviating to see you, L, smiling and much mentally healthier. It's also great pleasure beyond words to know you, S, have taken care of L during very challenging times. I'm sure you two have had a hilarious or wonderful story to tell of how we both met and found happiness, so we'll save that for yourselves to expound on in the future when we find an opportunity to catch up. Wisdom I cannot provide. However, as in the previous answer field, I wish you a very fulfilling, endearing, lifelong marriage with family. Live with satisfaction and leave without regrets. Take care. And then I put my initials there, and that's that. So this was ironically synced up to the Google Drive account of my biological mother, because that is actually logged in to the desktop, where at that time my biological father asked me to actually write a response to them and give my parting bidding adieu, which I did do. So I absolutely did that, right? And that's the last time anything of that sort will ever happen again. And so this is the last piece of documentation that I am going to talk about and discuss. Honestly, I noticed it's 20 minutes in. This entire video podcast is just a fucking mess. It's not a mess. I mean, honestly, there's a pretty good podcast, not gonna lie. I was very open, energetic, but I could tell that the energy was coming from discomfort. I was not comfortable this video. For the most part, it was actually having to do with IFT, and then the fuel, the energy, the emotions from IFT kind of just seeped into something that was heavier. But aside from that, it's whatever, man. This is the last time I'll have this. I'm just very happy. The main point is that, I had all this stuff here, and the 10 tabs are now gone when it comes to Usana as well as the account. So this is overarching, also having to do a little bit with security. As I mentioned in the past couple of video podcasts, it does have to do with Bitdefender, Kaspersky, right? I was going through this particular couple months where there's just so much, stuff that involve personal information and finances, and that you do have to protect. And so that's that. I'm going to close it now. No, you know what? I'll leave this open. I'll leave that letter open because it's a good place to leave a segue with. There's nothing personal here. I can actually get rid of the answer field because I can get rid of the privacy graphic because there's nothing here that's particularly private. So with that being said, I know it was a little bit of it was very extra. This video, I was very extra. I was extra loud, maybe, I think. Probably shouldn't have been. Just couldn't contain myself. I was really frustrated. I did 4 videos back to back. I haven't even bothered renaming some of these and uploading over to YouTube. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I find that to be a setback, and then it just kind of led into this kind of stuff here. But how convenient it is that we're done all this stuff here, and so I should be pretty chill for the next while if things stay chill, which things never stay chill, especially not in this fucking household. All right, so I see you guys in the next one. Peace out, and I'm done here. I gotta get out of here. First, I'm gonna try to upload after this these stuff over onto Patreon and YouTube, and then work on them over at the library on Spotify. But that's for the day, and so peace out, and yeah, the next one should have to do with much lighter stuff, and I should be much more down to earth. Right now, I'm not very grounded. I can tell. So for example, or maybe I'm grounded. For example, if I go to work, I suppose I might be like this because a lot of people who are working are kind of like this. They have so much to do that they're not really grounded. That's what work is. You're not really grounded all the time, depending on the line of work that you're doing. So for example, I noticed that if you're working customer service, you just have to be like this sometimes, especially when things get really hectic. But things should tone down by a lot. I should be doing more stuff that can be, that I can just take my time with. So on those topics, what to look forward to in the next video podcast is probably going to be hopefully we'll get back to this physical equipment over here soon. Look forward to doing that. Some modems that I'm holding on behalf of my friend. But I also want to get rid of the receipts. was talking about this for a while now, how these receipts have just got to go. And so I can't wait to talk about that as well. Since we're talking about security, I think that there's also another third topic I might end up discussing. And I might hop over right now from this Edge browser over just to show you a little sneak peek. But if I may, let's see if I can pause this for a moment here. So if I may, and I just hopped over, I did a little time freeze right there, and I sift through some tabs, and I hopped over to this tab right here, I believe. Whoa, what the hell? MS Edge channel content. Hold on, what's going on? Never mind, I can't show it for some reason. I don't know what happened, but basically what I was going to show you is, no, that's a display.
Uber Reserve presents how to make your flight. Step 1.
All right, OBS Studio seems to have a little bit of issues right now, but long story short, there's supposed to be this.
Step 3. Keep your cool because you booked your ride ahead with Uber Reserve. Uber Reserve.
All right, there we go. I just had to reset the defaults on OBS Studio because there's some issues. Long story short, this is what to look forward to as well in the next coming videos. So this is on Amazon. We're going to cover some products over on the Wisecam, OG telephoto indoor, outdoor. One of my buddies here was trying to, actually I purchased it already, but he didn't really manage it too well. It's kind of, I'm not going to discuss too much about it, but long story short, he's got some issues with anxiety, as I do myself. So, but I'm really thankful and grateful for him because he's the one who introduced me to this cam here, which is the Wisecam security camera for $50. So potentially this could be a topic for the next video as well. I know we'll have to cover eventually, but again, we've got a bunch of stuff here physically as well to cover. I also noticed I was kind of sidelined for a moment here. I noticed here, for example, that there's some stuff having to do with Usana that I still didn't cover. And I'm pretty disappointed that I wasn't able to cover that. But, it's all right. It seems like there's like some terms and policies right here. And because of that, oh, no, not even. It's important. It's financial stuff. You know what? Let's do it all.